welcome to livingpianos.com. I'm Robert Estrin. The question today, it sounds very thought-provoking. Can you learn the piano while you sleep? Now, this might sound absurd, but there's actually scientific evidence that supports the idea that indeed there is possibility of learning music while you sleep. I'm going to mention this study first, but really the most important thing I'm going to bring up after I tell you about researchers who actually taught a group of people to play piano melodies using a technique borrowed from the video game Guitar Hero. Afterward, all the volunteers got to nap. When they woke up, they were all asked to play the tune again. Unbeknownst to the sleeping participants, one group that played the same melody, they just learned as they slept. The other group was not. The volunteers had played the sound while they napped, even though they had no memory of it, played the melody far better than those who didn't hear it as they snoozed. So indeed, you can absorb some information while you're sleeping. Now here's where I think, rather than to try to do some weird experiment where you're playing music while you're sleeping in the hopes that when you wake up you'll be able to play some Beethoven sonata you've always wanted to play, I think we're a little bit far off from that. But this just shows the power of even while you're sleeping. There have been other studies, and this is where I think it's really important for you to embrace this idea, that what you think about just before going to bed affects you. Now, you probably are already somewhat aware of this phenomenon. Did you ever think of things before going to bed that were kind of scary, watch a scary movie or something, and then you have nightmares? So obviously, things you think about just before bedtime tend to seep into your subconscious. So what does this mean? You can actually leverage your practice time by doing some practicing, or at least refreshing the music you'd learned during the day just before going to bed. That way it's kind of percolating up here, and indeed it will get reinforced just because throughout the entire night it's going to be replaying in your head one way or another. I don't know about you, but I sometimes have music going on in my head all night long. The same themes keep coming. Every time I wake up, I'll still be on that same page, that same place in the music. And so, indeed, your subconscious is affected by your consciousness just before bedtime, and even while you're sleeping. I'm not sure if there's any way of leveraging the time you're asleep by playing recordings while you're sleeping, as that study indicates actually has some success, but certainly a refreshing of your music that you've played throughout the day before bedtime is going to help you and reinforce things by cementing it in your subconscious. I bet you didn't expect this, right? You know, you saw the title. Maybe some of you just clicked on this because you thought it was the silliest thing you ever heard. But there's actually some scientific truth to this fact, this phenomenon, I should say. So try it out. See how it works for you. I know that I do this all the time, and I end up thinking of music while I sleep. Sometimes I think of music. I actually come up with music in the middle of the night, and surprisingly, I'll go play it through a few times in my head, and the next morning I still remember it. And I'm always scared that I won't, but I'm just too lazy to get up and write it down, which I suppose I should do. But at least you can cement things through your sleep by just refreshing before bedtime. Try it out and see how it works for you. Again, I'm Robert Estrin. This is livingpianos.com, your online piano resource. Lots of videos here that you're welcome to subscribe. Even more at Patreon. See you next time.